everyone. Welcome to Spilly on the Rocks. Happy Father's Day weekend to all you fathers out there and possibly would-be fathers, grandfathers, all you. Hello. Let's get into what the Rockies did this last weekend. They went to Atlanta. We are now in Washington, D.C., so I got a couple updates on some roster stuff that I want to get into, but I also want to get some blockbuster reactions to a massive, massive, massive trade that happened on Sunday, not with the Rockies. So, first off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Rockies were in Atlanta on Friday. I guess a close game. Ended up being that the Rockies, they had the lead early. It was basically they had a 4-run lead, and then it ended up on the backside of the Rockies bullpen. And Jake Bird, of course, because we talked nice about Jake Bird. Jake Bird and Victor Vodnik, they get tagged, ends up being a very lopsided game for the Atlanta Braves. So Braves, the return of Ronald Acuna. Acuna is hitting nearly 400. He is an amazing player, and there's conversations about him trying to get in the home run derby, which would be kind of interesting just because when he hits the ball, I mean, like, it is amazing. I'll give you a quick story. When it came to Acuna, the first time I saw him, Walt Weiss was with the Atlanta Braves as like a bench coach, and he's been a bench coach there for a long time. And so there's like a hitting turtle when we're in the batting cage during BP. There's the cage that comes over. We call it a turtle. So it comes over, the shell comes over, and Acuna keeps hitting the top of the cage, and he's like looking back. He's like, "Can you move the cage back? That's a homer." Like, if you hit the top of the cage, it's not a homer, dude. Like, that's not a home run. Move the cage back. Whack. It hits the ball. It goes straight up. And I'm watching ball flight. I'm like, that's a homer? Like, it was a homer. He could, like, it's not straight up, but he hit it at such a crazy launch angle that it could hit the top of the cage unless he moved it back. So that's how incredible Acuna is. And so not only for this Atlanta Braves team that's been trying to get back on track, like, of all the teams that are like the most shocking to me, the Braves being 7 games below 500 is wild. So the Braves, they were almost at 500, if you remember, at Coors Field earlier in the season, and Chris Sale was pitching, and they're like, all right, they're going to finally get to 500. They lost that game at Coors Field. The Rockies beat Chris Sale. And like, they've never really recovered. Not saying that the Rockies like crushed them, but I'm just saying that they have never gotten on full track. They've never been on full steam ahead, and it's just a weird place to be because the Braves are way better than what they're performing. On Saturday, this game was, when I tell you Spencer Strider doesn't want you to hit the baseball, we've talked about Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider refuses for you to hit the baseball. Like, his perfect game is 81 pitches, 27 strikeouts. Like, that's legit what he's trying to do. 81 pitches, 27 punch-outs. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to strike you out. And on Saturday, I mean, we know the Rockies strike out a lot, but wait till you see this one. The Rockies punched out 19 times. 19 times. The Sunday note in the Rockies game notes was the Rockies, 57 losses, first 70 games are the most in the modern era. That's not good. The 1932 Red Sox had the second most losses in that span with 56. So, and went 14 and 57 through their first 71 games. So, like, we know these are like historically bad numbers. There was something on the strikeouts, but basically on Saturday, Spencer Strider struck out 13. Rafael Montero came in and punched out 4, and then Dylan Lee punched out 2 more. So it ends up being 19 strikeouts. 19 strikeouts, which it says struck out season high. That was on Saturday. Most by any team in a single game this season. First time in franchise history striking out at least 19 times in a 9-inning game. and the first time they have struck out at least 19 times in a game since 2030 against the White Sox. And that game went 14 innings. They struck out 21 times. Colorado has struck out a league-leading 675 times. Wait till you hear about what happened on Sunday. This season with a strikeout percentage of 26.3%, the highest among NL teams and second highest in the majors. So, all right, so they struck out 19 times. That's not good. Well, what about Sunday, Spilly? What happened on Father's Day? Well, on Father's Day, it was the return of Austin Gomber, so that is good. Actually, the return of Austin Gomber was on Saturday. On Sunday, it was actually no, I was right. It was on Sunday. Sorry, my computer's acting wonky. On Sunday, it's the return of Austin Gomber. He looked good, but the Rockies, they ended up striking out in this game. I couldn't believe it. Like when I saw the numbers, Grant Holmes struck out 15 on his own. So they struck out 16 times. So they're over 690 punchouts now on the season, which is way crazy high. And the Rockies win. Rockies won on Sunday 10-1. So Grant Holmes goes 6 1/3. He gives up 2 earned runs, strikes out 15. Gomber goes 5 innings, no earned runs. And then the bullpen was good. Bird got tagged again, but that's okay. Kindog and Juan Mejia, Ryan Rolson, they pitched. And yeah, Rockies win 10-1. 10-1. Would you believe that? So that was really interesting. Okay, so here's the big blockbuster is that on Sunday evening, so after all the games and basically everybody's sitting hopefully for their Father's Day dinner or whatever, or happy hour, the Red Sox and Giants made a trade. And this one is just wild. The Red Sox had just swept the Yankees. They just swept them. And they ended up trading away Rafi Devers. So Rafael Devers, and there was a long story. I mean, like he was a little bit disgruntled. This offseason, they didn't tell him that he was going to be moving off at third base, except everybody knew it. He was the worst defensive third baseman in baseball. And he was like caught off guard when the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman, even though like MLB trade rumors, it doesn't matter. Really poor communication from the front office standpoint, my opinion. Probably an agent got involved and, went a whole back and forth. Devers is a third baseman. He goes to spring training. Devers' shoulders are hurt, but he's like shocked to see Bregman at third. They thought he was going to play second, even though Devers wasn't capable at that time physically of playing third base. Then beyond that, like they asked him to move to first. He's like, no. Then he at first he doesn't want to be the DH. So all this stuff, all this back and forth. Alex Cora had a funny quote during that time frame. He was like, "Listen, Chaim Bloom isn't here. That's the one who gave him the contract and told him he was going to play third base his whole career." So Chaim's with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he's going to take over. But yeah, so this trade goes down, and it sounds like, from the Red Sox perspective, the clubhouse, even though they just swept the Yankees, I think they're kind of thumbs up. They end up getting 2 nice pitchers from the Giants that I like a lot. Kyle Harrison being kind of like the main one. Jordan Hicks is okay. He's the guy that throws really hard, but Giants get Devers. So now the Giants add to a team that is good. We just saw them in Colorado, where now the Giants just added a real bat. And they haven't had a real bat in the lineup in a long time. So Dodgers are 43-29. Giants are 41-31. The Padres lost the series in Arizona. Arizona's at 36-35. So like National League West is just nasty. And then you have the Rockies with the worst record in modern era at 14-57. So my reaction to this is hopefully, from a standpoint of the Rockies, dude, if the Red Sox can trade that player, not saying that there's a disgruntled one, but I mean, you should be really, 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 really focused on making some trades this year. Like there's nothing holding you back. There you have multiple players that I think teams are interested in. Ryan McMahon's starting to rake again. You got Jake Bird is probably going to be a borderline all-star. He'll have to be a manager who puts him on the team. Um, Kinley's throwing the ball well. He's got these crazy inflated stats. Uh, like there's multiple guys. Tyro Estrada could probably help the team. Like just dismantle it. Get players in return. Get something in return. Because it's clear, like just right now, like this team, seriously, number one in baseball in punchouts. Like that's not just because you're not spending money. It's personnel. Like you got to get guys that hit the ball hard, right? Like Tyler Freeman. I didn't love this deal, but that's the type of player that you're looking for. So they nailed on that one. But the other news is Big Michael Toglia is back. Keston Hero is DFA'd. So Rockies got the return of Michael Toglia. He went down to AAA. Hopefully clean up his swing, maybe clean up his mind. You start getting buried when you're not doing well. So Big Mike is back, and 4 games in Nation's capital. And then tonight, of course, Shohei Ohtani returns to the mound. So we have some like crazy good storylines. I hope Ohtani doesn't get hurt pitching, but I'm also a big bubble wrap baby. Um, I don't think he should be pitching this year just because his numbers are similar to last year, if not better, when he was a unanimous MVP as a DH, which is incredible. So there you go, Spilly on the rocks. Carson Palmquist will be on the mound today, and we'll see how he does. We want him to attack, 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 attack.